accidents do happen. This is a part of everyday experiences in life. If an individual suffers an injury at their place of employment during the ordinary course of their job, the owner of the organization is liable. Given the incident took place on the premises itself, if this occurs because of the issue with the building itself or staff negligence, the owner's general liability insurance will pay for it. What happens if the client gets harmed by an employee, but the accident did not happen on the business premises? What if the management or the owner told the employee to follow corporate policy, but such staff went against it? These circumstances frequently arise. They are referred to as respondeat superior in law or as employer liability. Small business owners can avoid potentially disastrous situations by being aware of them and learning how to protect themselves. Vicarious liability. According to the legal doctrine of vicarious liability, one person is to blame for the actions of another. Workplace lawsuits frequently involve this since employees are required to abide by company policy. When one party transfers authority or delivers orders to another, that other party is also liable through vicarious liability. For example, the CEO of a company may be authorized by the board of directors to negotiate on the company's behalf for any improper actions committed by the CEO throughout the negotiating process. The board of directors will be held vicariously accountable. Respondeat superior. One type of vicarious liability is respondeat superior, which translates to let the master answer. Because employees control their employees' conduct, they are accountable for the activities of their employees. Any property or physical harm brought on another person by the employee's negligent act or failure to act in the course of their employment will be covered by the employer's liability insurance. Insurance companies define course of employment as any activity that is directly related to, authorized by, or deviates from an activity that is authorized and that the employer is aware of but has never chastised or corrected. Let's say an employee operates a delivery vehicle on behalf of their company. Now, the driver is directed by the company to use the quickest route between the shop and the customer and back. Therefore, the employer would be liable for any accident or mishap that occurs as a result of such direction. Careless recruitment or retention. Negligent hiring is the practice of hiring someone without doing enough checks on their background. Negligent retention refers to continuing to employ a worker who is gravely unfit for business. Hiring a delivery driver with a history of driving under the influence of alcohol puts the employer at risk of legal action if the driver kills someone while under the influence of alcohol at work. Employer's duty of care. The obligation of care is articulated legally. It is the duty of each individual to refrain from intentionally hurting other people. Put simply, it means that each of us ought to use caution while doing something that can cause harm to another person in order to provide people with the means of pursuing legal action against those who have caused them injury. The courts created the duty of care. You have to exercise reasonable caution to refrain from doing something that you know will put you or your neighbor in danger. Although you may owe your neighbor a duty of care when you cut down a tree in your garden, your neighbor is not considered your neighbor under the duty of care. Anyone who might be personally and deeply impacted by your action or inaction is your neighbor. Employers have a responsibility to safeguard their workers from danger, provide a safe workspace, and ensure that they receive the necessary training. Ensuring the safety of employees throughout their workday is a crucial responsibility for companies if an employer could demonstrate that they did everything within their power to keep workers safely, it would not assume any liability for injuries sustained by employees at work. Now, they can take a variety of approaches to this depending on what is practical in their sector. These could include offering sufficient instruction, making sure the necessary safety gear is used, creating a secure workplace, and guaranteeing all employees are qualified before being hired.